4 of us. Yeah, we can start.
Is there anyone here from Sharp Home Designs?
Yes. Hi, I'm Chris Broda. I'm the architect for the
Hello, Chris.
project. And we also have Sheldon Sharp, who is the owner of the property, with us.
Hi, good evening. Yep.
And if I may share my screen, I can bring you the presentation.
Thank you, please do.
Okay. Bear with me a second. I'm away on vacation, so I'm a little working without my normal setup. So let me just find where we are. Okay, there we are. Can you see my screen now, the plans?
Yes,
Okay, so since we last met, we've made a few revisions to the project, including moving the egress from the basement. This is the basement plan that you see here, moving the egress from the front, which kind of interfered with the entrance to the house, to the rear of the house. Now, we may either have, it's likely we'll do a doorway out here and a stair up the window well, allowing some light in so we can get some fresh air and some light into this recreation room here in the basement. But in the front, then we have changed, we haven't changed the floor plans, but here's the elevations. Now you can see on the front that we've added a few columns to the front under to get a little bit more of a porch. We've in discussions, we've decided that we wanted to go a little bit more of a modern farmhouse look than sort of a strictly modern house. So we've added a board and batten design to the lower level with hardy siding on the second floor level, except for a couple of parts that we're calling out. So for instance, this area here, which is that little bump out that's existing on the house that we're taking up to a second floor, we're making that fully board and batten. And then in the back of the house, where we have that two-story space, we're making that also board and batten there, but we'll do the mix of the board and batten and clapboard. In response to what the board said last time, we lowered the grade, the slope of the garage roof and added some windows to that master bath area that's on the second floor. And to orient you in the floor plan here, this is the master bath where we've added another window here in the front and a window on the back, as well as the windows on the side. Give it a lot of light and air.
Carrie, sorry to interrupt. Carrie, can you let Stanley in, please?
I'm sorry?
No, this is for Carrie. Is Carrie on?
I am.
Yeah, could you let Stanley in, please?
He should be able to be in.
I don't know why he's getting a permission.
Huh. All right. I'm going to try to send him an email directly.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm sorry about that, Chris.
No worries.
Another board member.
I'm let's see, trying to share the three-dimensional drawings here. Let me see if I can pull those up. I think I've got a little bit of a lesser internet connection here, so I think I'm having a little bit of trouble with that. But as you can see, we've made not a lot of changes to the house, but the particular concerns of the board were really this area here that was the addition on the second floor.
Is there a way you can put up the last one and this one so we can see the two? Because most of us aren't going to remember exactly what.
Yeah, let me see if I can open that up. If I have it. Let's see. Hold on a second. I've got to fetch it off a backup drive. There we go. Okay, here we go. Now you can see this was the original, what we were looking at was all clabbered. We had a steeper.
I
We're
don't-
not seeing
I don't
anything.
see it. I just see.
Oh.
it, yeah.
Okay, let's see if, I guess I need to do a second share. There we go. So here we had the area that was most of concern was that the roof here above the garage was a bit steep and left us with a lot of blank space there. So now what we're doing is we're lowering that roof to a much shallower pitch and then allowing for a window to be on the second floor section.
You able to flip between this and the new front elevation, just so we, because then it's very easy if we can just see one and then the other.
Let's see if that's possible.
Yeah, if you can slide that over and put the other next to it, would be perfect.
That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so let me see if I can do a share that would just share the screen itself.
I have them both up if you want.
I'm not sure that I can share
need to
both at the
cancel.
same time.
If
I
you have them,
can flip back and forth if you want. I can, if you stop sharing, I can.
Okay. Let's see. There you go. Okay.
I think I can do this. Let's see. Bob, can you see this?
Yeah, I can see that.
Just tell me when you want me to switch over.
So there is the first submission that
Right.
shows you the front with the all clabbered, and the area above the garage was a steeper roof. And the board felt at the time that that was a lot of wall space without a lot of windows. Here on the second submission, you see we've changed to a board and batten to kind of emphasize the house a little bit more and minimize the garage. And the garage is now with a lower slope roof. And we have added a window above it in the master bathroom. There you go, the two.
I mean, I think it's an improvement.
Yep. And is that a porch now under the,
Yeah, we've added some columns so that we could get a little bit more of a porch feel to it rather than just an overhanging roof. So now we have a porch feeling to it, and we've eliminated the egress windows below that entrance area. So,
good?
yeah,
Can you go to the sides end? Can you flip to the,
I'm sorry.
no, that's right, yeah, and if she can.
Ah.
There we go.
Yeah, and along the sides, one of the things too, on the side elevation there, you see on the right, you see the right elevation that had a bit of, it felt kind of massive to me with all in siding. So when we switched to the board and batten, we decided to just do the first floor level as board and batten, and then the upper helps cut down on the massiveness of that elevation. And then we changed the window above in the bathroom. Instead of a triangular window, we changed that to a transom window.
You click the other one in.
Mhm.
There you go.
What did we say about the side of the garage, that big blank bottom wall?
I forgot to add a couple of
What's
windows
blank?
there. And if I can share my screen
Yep.
again, I'll show you that. So here we can see it in 3D. We've also decided to go to a white siding as opposed to a gray. And so now if you look at the now you can see there's an original window in this garage that is a triple window like this on there. So we would keep the original openings and just leave it as such and put a triple window back in place. So if you want to take a look at it sort of head on, there you can see it.
Can we see the rear elevation?
Sure.
I mean, I think these are all improvements that you did. Just on that garage, I guess the left side elevation, you have a weird relationship between the top of the sloped roof and the window
Let me get back
on the
to-
garage side.
Yeah, let me get back to that.
You've got like corner to corner meeting, which I'm sure you're not going to do, but doesn't make me think it's been worked out.
I'm sorry, what are you pointing out?
The top of the sloped roof on the left.
This one? Or
Yeah,
here where it comes
right-
up? Yeah,
right there.
yeah, that'll be, I mean, it's close, but yeah, we'll work that out, that's not quite meeting. Definitely don't want to get snow piled up against that.
And then
If-
go
you know,
around.
if need be, I can lower this this pitch.
Or at least a few inches, more than a few inches.
Yeah, the pitch right now is a 3 and 12. I really don't want to go any lower than that, but I can adjust the height of where that roof sits. I can make it sit down a little bit lower on the walls, so we can definitely miss that.
And then on the other side, the 2-story portion on the front elevation,
Yeah.
you have the board and batten going 2 stories on the front, but then it kind of suddenly changes to the clapboard as on the second floor. I'm not sure if I have the answer, whether it should be board and batten just for that mass
Yep.
on the sides rather than the clapboard.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's a little bit of a tough thing. Like, how do we do that transition? I mean, we do have trim boards at the side, so we get a corner post. But if you, if you start to wrap it around on this side, it's fine. It dies into this wall. But if
Right.
you go over to this side, now all of a sudden you're doing that side is completely board and batten. So then why
No,
would you
no,
do
I would
the
just do the mass also, the 2-story portion.
You mean do this as well here?
No, keep that clapboard,
Yeah.
but then I don't know what the answer is on the left. Just that little bit that's under the gable of
This portion here, this one,
no, to the right of that. There.
that portion there, whether you stop it.
I mean,
there.
that's my feelings.
Yeah, I know you could do that. I just wonder if because that's all a flat side
Mhm.
here, if we kind of look at it, if we just have sort of almost an arbitrary line there where it splits.
Yeah, but it's meeting the
Yeah.
eve line of
Yeah.
the opposite side, and to me that would make. I
What's
think
on
that
the
would-
other side, Stanley, on the left side of that? Is that board and batten also, or does that become horizontal?
Well, we were going to keep it just horizontal, but if we do it board and batten on this side, we certainly would do the same on the other side to kind of keep that uniform.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of my thought. I don't know if anybody else agrees or disagrees. That belt line, does that continue on the front? I don't remember.
Yes, it actually for the board and batten, I wasn't intending to do so that we could get that vertical.
Right.
there, but it's really meant to be a delineation between the clapboard and the board and batten.
Right. But I just think you've got this two-story mass on the front that seems to be treated on the two sides differently than my inclination would be.
Well, if we were to do that,
I mean, as long as it does, I mean, if you can do it quickly, we don't want to.
yeah. I can roughly do it. Let's just say, not line it up necessarily exactly. Okay.
I also feel like in the back, while you're doing that, I'm just gonna talk, in the back, you have, a lot of nice windows, except for that huge blank wall next to the garage door.
Let's look at that from the side.
Can you do it in perspective? Not isometric, but perspective to see that corner? I mean, that's you need to see not just an orthogonal, but also how it wraps in 3D in perspective. Yeah, I mean, to me, that looks better.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
Yeah, it does. That's all on one plane, right?
Yeah, but there would be
You
a
need some
vertical.
sort of something to break the plane. You need
Yeah,
something to
there'd be
feel
a vertical post here.
Yes,
Yeah,
something.
yes.
and then on the opposite side, do the board and batten, and it naturally dies into the clapboard.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that makes
yeah,
a huge
for
difference.
sure. I would do that.
So, other than that, I think I'm fine with all the changes, and I think Ann's alluding to a window on the back of the garage.
Yeah, we could put a window on the back. We have a door there right now, and we could add a window over here.
Yeah, it just looks like it's a added
Sort of lonely by
piece that
itself.
wasn't thought out.
Probably something when as high as the door.
Probably something. I wouldn't. I don't know. That's necessarily to do something as large as other windows here. It is a garage, but
You want the fenestration to look balanced.
Maybe a horizontal that's the same as you had on the other side,
yeah, similar to the
the triple window.
window. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that. Something like that would work.
Is that the same height as on the side?
Yep, exactly. I would make it the same height. Yeah, don't forget there's a step down from here. There's a good 16-inch difference to the existing garage floor. But yeah, that would certainly balance it out, I think. Certainly add
Yeah.
that.
Does that work for you, Ann?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep, I think it looks good. And then I think the top of that garage slopes should match the rear shed roof on the back. You see how it's a little bit higher in this elevation,
Yep.
and that'll take it down below the window. So I don't know how you want to do it. Bob, I don't know how you want her to document this, but I don't know. I don't feel like she needs to come back if she incorporates all these changes.
Yeah, I don't either. Who's gonna walk us through it? Just, Tom, do you think you can keep track of all this?
I did take some notes going through this, so there was, siding and window changes that were added. So I
Yeah.
have good notes on this, and we have the minutes we can refer to.
Okay.
All right,
Yep.
fine.
Yeah, and I can certainly just update you by sending you a revision of these drawings in PDF and send them off to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you working with us.
Great. Yeah, I think it'll work out nicely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
You made it.
Hi, Daisy.
Hi, I'm on my phone. I'm sorry. My laptop decided to update, so I'm having some difficulty. So I'm logged on from my phone. So yeah, but don't worry, I'm taking notes. The next application is Bill Spade, 1111 Hartsgravel Road.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Bill.
Hi.
Good to see you all. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen. And let me know you see a aerial view. Am I right? Do you see that aerial view?
Yeah.
Good.
Nothing.
So
I
we're
don't see
here.
anything. Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, sorry.
No.
I have to hit the
Oh.
share button.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Does
Yeah, I
not
forget,
share.
You have to hit the share button too, right? So we are here for property at 1111 Hartsgravel Road. The owner of the property, Kostas Evangelinos, is online as well with us. This house is presently a one-story house on about a two-thirds of an acre lot along Hartsgravel Road. You see it here with the blue dot on it. We have a neighbor to the north and a neighbor to the south, which is actually faces onto Valley View Road, and then a house across the street. And that's pretty much the immediate neighborhood. I'll show you photos of the existing house. This is from the front. Again, it was built in 1953, one-story ranch, 2 cars, 3 bedrooms, and we're proposing to add a second story to the left side of the house and reconfigure the first floor to be a primary bedroom with the other 2 bedrooms on the second floor. I'll show you that in a minute. Here's the rear of the house. We've already done some work in terms of removing the existing siding under a demolition permit, but this is what the current house looks like. So here I'll show you now the plans and then the elevations. Maybe quickly here, just as orientation on the site plan. You see here that there's sort of 3 main components to what we're doing: adding a second story on the north or left end of the house, enlarging the existing 2-car garage, both forward and to the right on the right end of the house, and then removing an existing screen porch in the rear right corner and turning that into an enclosed family room, new living space there. And then also doing a porch across the front and improving the front entrance. I'll shift down to this is the existing floor plan. 3 bedrooms, even though the one's labeled office, 3 bedrooms at the left end of the house, kitchen in the middle, living room in the front, dining room in the rear. As I mentioned, the screen porch, and then this very tiny 2-car garage. Here is our proposed floor plan. This a little adjusted. So the first floor we're converting the left end of the house into the primary bedroom with the main bedroom space to the rear and primary bathroom space to the front, and a walk-in closet on the side, enlarging the existing bathroom that was in the middle of the floor plate here, creating a new laundry room off this hallway, and then making a study on the front of the house out of that current bedroom. Then a portion of the bedroom, we add a new stair to the second floor, and then create a 2-story foyer space for the front entrance. We're filling in a little recess for the existing front entrance, which right now aligns with this wall of the house, and bringing that entrance forward. And then, as I mentioned, doing a porch all on the front. Again, enlarging the 2-car garage to make it more appropriate in size, and then creating this family room in the rear right. One other thing I'll point out, as many of you know, we're trying to do things that are more energy efficient in our construction methods these days. And so Mr. Evangelinos, the owner, has gone along with the idea of wrapping the existing house with a new furred out framing and insulated enclosure. So on top of the existing 2x4 framing, we're going to add a 2x6 layer and that additional insulation. So we'll end up with about a 12-inch total insulated layer for the existing house. And then in remaking the roofs, we're going to have 12-inch thick, actually 15-inch thick roofs to create a more insulated roofing as well. And then we're looking at, and hopefully we'll do, triple pane passive house windows in the new enclosure. So, trying to substantially increase the energy efficiency of the house. Here is the new second story. Again, the foyer up to a new landing, 2 bedrooms on the front and rear, and 2 bathrooms, and then some mechanical area for our new mechanical spaces. So that second floor extends, kind of halfway across the house, and the rest of it remains a 1-story. Here is our new front elevation. The existing roof line is fairly well what this existing ridge line is. The existing bay is here, and here we're creating our new second story with the new front entrance and the porch across the front of it, and then the enlarged garage to the right. The siding will be hardy plank siding with corner boards, asphalt shingle roofing, and then, as I mentioned, we're looking at doing the triple pane passive house type windows, and their functionality is typically, for instance, this window in the second story, that's a tilt turn, so it acts as both an in-swing casement as well as tilting in from the top. So that's those type, and we also have the tilt type as well. So that's the front
Bill,
elevation. Yes.
Bill, did you change the design from what you submitted?
Yes. It's
Okay.
hopefully, yes.
Okay.
We were still continuing to work on the elevations from what I
Okay.
originally submitted. So,
All right.
yes, hopefully it's an improvement.
Can you send me the updates, Bill, so I can put it on?
Yes, certainly. I'll point out we're in the gables, we're doing board and batten siding. The idea is to get a little bit of a contemporary feel to it with the detailing we're going to do. Here is the rear elevation. There's on the left is the new family room. We're getting a sort of 1.5-story space and height out of the family room. So we get nice tall clear story windows. The kitchen is behind this space. And then the primary bedroom is on the right. This existing set of stairs and doors to the basement will remain, and that's represented there. On the right and left side elevations, all right, get this spot. Here's the left side elevation, the new 2-story sidewall, the porch on the front with the extended gable for the new front entrance. You see the family room push out beyond on the rear of the house. And again, the treatment of the board and batten in the gables. By the way, trim is 5.5-inch wide trim around the windows. I didn't point out on the front elevation, but we have a dormer in the attic on the front elevation. Then here's our right side elevation. This is the enlarged garage, and this is the family room to the rear. The TV wall is underneath these transom windows, which are same height and dimension as the transom windows on the rear wall. That is it in terms of, oh, sorry, I meant to show you also, these are the neighboring properties. This is the neighbor immediately to the north, kind of a Cape Cod style house there, more traditional. This is the house directly across the street, which I understand is a historic house, but recently renovated. It as well has some of the board and batten siding and hardy plank trim, so some similarities. And then this is the house on Valley View. Our house is off to the left behind this one. So the rear of the Valley View house faces the side, the right side of the our house. And it's kind of obviously a ranch style that's got some more contemporary style windows and features to it. That's it.
I don't know if you mentioned the color scheme of the siding.
No, I didn't. A warm gray siding, dark windows, and I think not a white trim, but a kind of light gray, lighter color on the trim.
And the manufacturer of the windows, because you spoke, is that
It's still something I need to finish going over with the owner.
Okay.
I want to show him. There's actually you'll like this, a Polish company that we've come across, Daco,
Yeah.
making very high quality triple pane windows with the PVC framing.
Mhm.
And very cost effective solution. They're about maybe no more than 15% higher in cost than Anderson double pane 400 series windows at the moment. So that's a step to still go through with Mr. Evangelino, sorry. But that would be a particular manufacturer we would like.
Right.
Just one almost kind of logistical question. On the rear elevation, wouldn't the siding go below the first floor framing?
Yes, thank you. That
And then-
line.
but- Yeah, and then also you're adding 6 inches to the exterior of the wall, but the rear stair is staying the same width, I presume.
Yes.
So you're gonna have
Yeah,
a conflict.
it's a wide enough set of stairs.
Oh, it is? Okay.
We can do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Is there any reason that the sliding doors and the two windows to the right seem to have different framing and no buttons, and everything else is consistent?
No particular reason. Probably should, although maybe that the kitchen window would remain without the buttons just before, the maximum view. But yeah, we could probably should.
Every
have added
window in
doors
the
there.
house looks the same except for those three.
Right.
And
Right.
what's happening in the garage door? Is that meant to be taken literally? What's happening in those garage doors?
Yeah, I think there's a graphic error going on there. It's a obviously a half glass window.
No, not that. I'm sorry. The car garage doors, two automobiles.
Oh, sorry.
They look
And those are windows.
They are.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, agreed.
Great.
Looks nice.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, Bill.
Good night. Okay, our next application is 210 Croton Avenue.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay?
Mhm.
My name is Maynard Leon. I'm the architect working on this project, and I'm joined here by John and Amy Epstein, the owners of the and Croton. I'm going to share my screen quickly. All right, so this is the subject property here. This is a single-family house built in 1997 with clapboard siding, and you can see here the house is in a relatively sparsely populated area. The houses around it are further away than many other areas in the city. And just to give you some context here, this is where the house is related. This is related to Mount Kisco, and the view from you can see that from the street, it's actually screened off significantly at the front. You really have a significant barrier of mature trees, and the real view of the house is actually up the driveway here, where you see the two-car garage and the front of the house. Going back to the site plan here, you can see that there's a house to the south, which is the closest neighbor, another house to the north. Across the street is a pretty steep slope, and there aren't any structures constructed on that slope. Behind the house is another house down a steep slope. There's about a 70-foot drop between this property and the one behind. So just running through some photos of the existing structure. Here's the view from the street, as I mentioned before. So you really see the garage, and you see a little bit of this kind of back deck here in the lower right corner. And this project is proposing a new exterior deck with a covered exterior patio, or sorry, exterior porch and two exterior patios with one new door that bridges between the interior and exterior. So before I dive into the plans, I just want to give you a little context. The house is currently built on the lot. It's roughly a 1-acre lot. It's built all the way up to the setback line. And so the proposed addition of a deck and two patios sits within the rear setback. The deck itself comes about 17.5 feet into the setback, and then another 7.5 feet for the patios. We applied for and received variance to build this 2 weeks ago in the CBA hearing. And so now we are coming to you guys to see what you think of the design. A couple more views here. This is a view of the house from the rear. So you can see that because the house is built right up to the setback line, there's kind of a severe cutoff between the yard and the house itself. It almost looks a little unfinished in the back. And so we really wanted to integrate the backyard into the experience of living in the house. And so the key elements here that I mentioned earlier are this exterior deck that is at grade with the existing deck around the corner here. The existing deck is right here. Those two are connected via an exterior covered porch that continues the same roofing material down. In the foreground, you see a raised patio with concrete pavers and integrated planters kind of framing the space. And on the other side, a lower patio at grade made of recycled brick with a kind of a sculptural stair connecting the two. The other thing you'll notice here is a grill island adjacent to this new door that we're proposing that connects the existing kitchen and dining area. Here's a view of this side of the house. Currently, the backyard, you can see that door view right here, and the rest of the patio kind of extend off. The brick patio that's in the foreground will be right about here. The house itself, you can see here, this is proposed and existing views of the design. And from the street, you basically see a little bit of this covered porch and some of the new railing that would come out to meet that. But the rest of the design is pretty much hidden in that back corner of the house. And in context to the neighboring structures, the house to the south is the view looking out towards that property. You see in between the two properties, there's a pretty steep ravine. So you don't have clear direct sight lines between the two, but this is a view from that house looking back towards our property. And you see most of the backyard is really shielded. And during the, this part of the year, you have a full stand of mature trees between the two. Looking straight to the west, out from the existing kitchen and dining area, you see that there's an existing fence on the neighboring property before the slope really starts to go down. And as you can tell, there's really nothing visible. It's kind of in the winter view of the hills beyond. And looking from that property up the hill, you can see you can't see any of this house beyond the fence. And from the north is looking to the north. To the north, there's a driveway to this property that's to the west, as well as a public drive. But both are screened by a stand of mature trees. And the view from that property looking to the south, you can see here, you would see the proposal right there in the backyard, but it is at a distance.
Do you have a roof plan that shows that existing one-story roof in relation to what you're showing for the proposed?
No, I don't have a roof plan.
Because there's something odd going on that doesn't quite make sense to me, is that little bump out with the double doors actually has a different, has a protruding gable coming out of it, or a hip gable. And I'm really not clear how everything's meeting.
Got it. So I do have this, sorry, not a full roof plan, but I do have this roof plan showing the area where they come together.
So I don't understand what's going on between the right of that structure and the new.
So if you look here, you see there is actually a slight overlap. So the pergola sits up above it just a little bit.
Do you have that from the opposite side, that view?
Right here.
Are you showing that correctly? The double door portion? I don't think it does that.
This right here?
The roof of that part.
The roof of that part.
You're showing a very low slope on that piece. Maybe I'm not reading it right.
This slope right here?
Yeah, it goes up a lot higher and then has a horizontal ridge to it. And that doesn't look right according to what you drew on that side elevation.
So I'll jump back to the roof plan and then we can look at the side elevation. So you're talking about this slope right here?
Correct. And then more importantly is how that new shed roof over the porch is meeting that.
Got it. I can certainly double check the exact slope of that. Are you asking in relation to the pergola or to the porch?
Well, I like drawings to make sense, and something's not making sense to me here. What's bothering me is that shed roof over the porch.
Mm-hmm.
It looks odd in your 3D rendering, but it doesn't make sense in your drawings to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not even sure what you're doing with the existing roof. Looks like it has two slopes. You have a much steeper slope as it hits the house. Is that how it is?
There is a change in slope. Photo. I think what you're seeing is this in the foreground. Oh, so what I think what that is actually these. I don't
Everything
actually
has a hip, it looks like. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, that's odd. What is that?
still hip up above. That isn't really captured in the photos. Yeah, you can't really see in these photos. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. But that's, I believe, what that change in slope is.
Okay.
From that view.
Go back to the rendering that shows that corner with the sloped roof. Well, you kind of depict it here, but I don't see, you didn't draw the existing roof correctly in the 3D.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little
So,
bit of that.
I mean, one, I don't know how you're actually going to resolve it without drawing it accurately. And then two, I think it looks odd if you flip to the other side of this pergola. It just looks, that really long slope roof, I don't know, just bothers me.
Talking about the roof slope over the covered porch.
Yeah, I mean, again, I like the drawings to make sense, and your drawings don't make sense. They're not consistent with each other and with what's actually there. So I think in order to actually even build this or draw this properly, it has. I'm going to have to ask you to come back and show it correctly.
Okay.
But,
You know,
yeah,
you're showing the top of the pergola at the same height as the eave line, and that's not the case. And I don't know, and I'd like you to think about the design of that shed roof. It just maybe, I don't know, does it bother anyone else?
yeah, that's what I was just going to say. The same thing. I mean, I think there are two different points that Stanley's making, and one is about accurately depicting the existing roofs on the house, but that shed over the new porch is a new addition that you're making. And I agree that the extension of the same materials and just the long slope of it, it all looks weird. I wonder if a flat roof or making that a pergola 2 would look better, since it's totally new construction.
Yeah, completely different material or something, or, you know, I assume the program is to have a covered porch here because it gets sunny. Is that why you want to do that?
Sunny, and to be able to use it during the rain.
Right. Okay, well, that's the design challenge, is to keep that there and keep that there, but to also make it look correct. So I don't know. Those are my comments. I mean, I appreciate all the landscaping and the terracing, and that looks nice, but I just don't think, you know, somebody could actually build this and make it work as you have it drawn. So I'd like you to come back and really study that roof and see how it's really going to work.
Sure. Okay. Any other comments?
No, I don't have any.
No,
I don't have it.
All right.
All right, you're automatically on the next agenda is 2 weeks from today, I believe.
Yeah, so the deadline for submission is Wednesday, the 13th. So I'll need the plans, physical plans, and the thumb drive by the 13th to be on the 20th.
Got it. All right. Thank you, everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Okay, our next application is for 150 Whippoorwill Road, the Whippoorwill Club.
Yep. Good evening, members of the ARB. For the record, my name is James Ryan. I am a principal with JMC. We're the planners and engineers for the club. I'm also a club member as well, too. This is somewhat of a simple ask, I hope. We received an amended special permit to make a change out here. Any changes that we make to the club and the club structure requires an amended special permit. So we did go to the Zoning Board of Appeals for that. Essentially what we're doing, and you can see it in the grade area, we're adding a pergola. It's a flat roof pergola essentially going to be replacing a seasonal tent that the club has every year, which I think by unanimous vote is not really an attractive element that the club had. During COVID in particular, there's need for more of the existing club members to have more opportunities for outside dining. So this allows for that during, really hot sunny days as well as under rainy conditions too. So essentially, and you can see Amanda, my associate too, is just sharing the screen. So this is along the side of the building where there is existing terraces already. So it's not creating any new terrace area. It's just covering an existing terrace. It's 45 feet by 43.5 feet. Again, does not cover the whole terrace, but allows for essentially the same area that was covered by the tent to be covered. It's a simple structure. The louvers are solar operated louvers. So it has a flat roof. There's inbuilt drainage into the system and lighting as well too. So without the tent, you won't see the glow, although you really can't see even the tent. You get a little bit of a glimpse of the tent from Whippoorwill Road only when you come in the driveway. It's really heavily concealed by the grade change down to Whippoorwill Road, as well as the vegetative cover that's in this area too. So, we're hoping what you can see in this too, that brown area, that's essentially as it connects to the wall of the building. It's again something that a large investment for the club to do this, but I think it addresses a long-term need of theirs for that area too, and again avoids having to have the seasonal tent up every year, which has I think some limitations in terms of activities there too. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have related to this. We've already gone through a process with the Zoning Board of Appeals on this too. We did show them that you really can't see it. My associate Amanda is just showing you, that kind of corner glimpse. You can see, Amanda, if you can just with your cursor, you can just see the tent just above that one car right there. That's probably the only time you see it, and you're actually in the driveway. So having it as a flat roof structure, you won't see anything there at this point. So that's essentially it. So happy to answer any questions you have.
What color is this going to be, the structure?
It's a white color, again, kind of matching the trim of the building itself.
And do you have drawings that show the terrace and the side of the building that it's all meeting up with?
Amanda, go to maybe the photographs that we have, I think.
I mean, is there a parapet wall or a low knee wall going around that?
No,
terrace?
there's actually along the Whippoorwill Road side, there is actually a wall structure. Man, you have to go to the photographs and just zoom in a little bit here. Probably to photograph 5. You can see that. Go down a little bit more to 5. So on the back side of this, you see how the existing tent marries up to the building. You see that it's actually a wood fence on that side, and there's some mechanical equipment, condenser units and so on have been there for a long time. And then there's a little bit of a concrete wall there too, but it would completely obstruct of this. Again, the only time that you actually see anything here is because of the peak of the tent.
And you're making this the same size as the tent?
It's exactly the same, covering the exact same area of the tent, and it's all on existing terrace area.
Right, and that's a really long span from the house to the outside to the north.
Yeah.
Right?
So man, to go to the structure, there's steel structures. If you go to those right here, now go to the next one here. So the interior structure, go to our site plan. I think that's the easier one.
Is there no rendering of this against the building itself, just a sculptural object? You know, somehow it's a bad strategy for people to keep saying you're not going to see it and that we shouldn't care.
Well, it's,
But
yeah,
I'm curious to see what this looks like up against the building, how it fits against the wall of the building.
so, okay, so it actually, it meets the wall, but it's not connected to the building. There are the 6 structures, you see the 6 footings that are there. And what you see on either side of it, you see the existing walkway on the lower side of it and the that fence line and the wall. And then you see the rest of the terrace as it wraps around the building.
But why are there only 6 footings?
Because that's the structural portion of the other. There are other flanged supports on the outside. So the only ones that required footings are the interior ones. The others are flanged and connected right to the terrace itself.
So, and your rendering, your 3D is not showing the interior posts.
No, it's not. It's not.
So is that a slab on grade on the start? I mean, when you the outside posts,
so-
yeah, that would
Yes. So the terrace is all concrete terrace. It's flagstone over concrete.
And it looked like the tent was going past the terrace onto the grass?
Slightly.
Just slightly? Okay.
Mhm.
And has a structural engineer worked this out?
Yes, we've submitted to the building department full structural drawings.
Okay. And how's this draining? You mentioned draining.
Yeah, so the louver system actually has a drainage system, has channels to guide the drainage away from the building. And then it's carried out to the areas where drainage is being collected already in the storm system.
So there are gutters somewhere.
Yes. And again, this is all solar operated as well.
Right.
It's one of the features they liked about that too.
Just say for me, and you know, it's replacing a tent, but it's hard, if not impossible, to really understand what this looks like. You know, when you're there, there's no depiction of what it looks like. Yeah, that's just something like isolation. That could be in the middle of I don't know where.
Right.
That's
Is it-
nowhere.
Is it 17 foot tall? Is that-
13 feet.
13 feet. Okay.
Mhm.
How tall is the tent?
The tent goes up to 18 at the peak. I
At
think
the
it's
peak,
18, almost 19 feet.
And the back of this, is it going to be brown or is there actually a building there? It's up against a building.
Yeah, so it doesn't actually attach to the building.
But you're going to see it. If you stood in front of this object,
Yes.
you'd see a building in the distance. You
Yeah,
wouldn't see a
well,
brown
of course.
wall.
Of course, yeah. No, you'd see the whole face of the building. It's all glass on that side of the building. So you're actually walking out these large open glass doors open into the structure. The company that provided these obviously didn't marry it up to the building, but it works.
What is structure is the louver system or?
I'm sorry, the louver system. So the
No,
louver
the logo that said structure with an X.
structure is the name of the company that provides this.
Which company that provides the posts and the structure?
Yeah,
and
the whole pergola system is structures.
the whole thing. So I guess my point is if I were a club member
Mhm.
and I saw this very modern
Right.
pergola, which could look nice, but I
Mhm.
don't know if it looks nice against,
Yeah.
the building, which is not a modern building. I
Right.
think we need to see drawings of at least the elevation or, partial elevations and really document what this is going to look like. I mean, not only for us,
Yeah.
but I think for the club
Well,
members, I think
the club
they
members
deserve to
said-
see.
The club members said we've given it a full presentation to the club members. These same drawings to the club members. I'm a member.
Right, but
I'm-
you're going to have 2 posts in the middle and then 2 posts against the building. How
Well,
does
again,
that
there's,
actually?
yeah, it's not showing that accurately here. There are interior posts.
Right.
On too, so, and it shows better on the,
Yeah, but you
Right.
mentioned there's glass doors and walls on the side
there
that
are, yes.
meeting up, but how do those posts, meet up with those glass doors? I mean, I don't,
So Amanda, maybe go to 5 and see if we can get a little indication of the inside of the. Yeah, it's a little hard to see, but it's all glass on the face of the building where this is marrying up. I think it's probably
Right, but then you're going to have two posts in front of the glass. Does that even work?
It does work. They've already patterned this out to match against the building.
So you must have a more larger scale plan of this.
Well,
not the site plan.
Well, what we have is, I guess we could go to the full submission that we submitted to Tom's office. I didn't bring those drawings, but we have the full set of drawings that were done. Amanda, can you bring those up? Maybe that'll help.
I don't think it's an adequate visual presentation.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I'm getting at too.
Amanda, are you bringing those up?
Was there any architect involved in this? You're an engineering firm, right?
Yeah, no, this was all design build by the company that provides the pergola. They came out and did all the measurements. And
I mean, when I look online at the structure website, I'm looking at some of the images there, and it looks like it's just butts up against the building with no real thought out integration, at least on the on this one image that I'm seeing.
Right. So Amanda, can you have the submission, that was building department submission? It might answer a lot of those questions. Just bear with me for just 1 minute. Is the concern, Mr. Wong, that this is not going to work? I mean, it is going to work. It
would be nice to see the elevation, like, so because since the structure is not depicted correctly, we don't see the context.
Right.
So that's all. We would like to see that.
All right.
For an architectural review board, we want to see an architectural presentation and understand what it looks like.
I mean, you're basically showing what I'm looking at on the structure website, and it's just their pergola in the middle of nothing and no context.
I mean, especially on that stone building, Stanley, you can see that it's like someone
I
pushed it up to the building.
Right, and he mentioned that it's not going to touch the building, so it's sitting apart from it.
So we want a realistic visual presentation of what the building and this object look like together. When someone goes there, we don't want to hear that you can't see it. And you're automatically on in 2 weeks at the next meeting.
Right. So it doesn't matter that only the club can see it in your mind?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
Well, here it looks like you're touching the building. You're going right up against it.
So if we can see the doors behind and the elevation of that the whole elevation of the building.
Okay. And that's what we'll have to do then.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so the next meeting is July 20th. I will need everything by Wednesday, the 13th. Once I get that, then I can place you on the next agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Right.
Okay, our next application is 84 Campfire Road. And that's Paul Fishman. Unmute your computer. Press the space. Okay, there you go.
I'm going to need you to help me with all those screens.
Yeah, I know I had said I would be able to share the screen, but I'm having trouble with my computer. So can I ask if one of the board members can share their screen?
Yeah, I have it up.
Thank you.
Can you see us?
Yep, there we go. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to just talk it
Just
through
walk
it.
me through it. Okay, so this is where the property is. This is Campfire Road, and I submitted 3 of our neighbors. The one picture I couldn't get because he's too far up in the woods, but this is directly across the street from us, and this is across the street to the right of us, and then this is next door to us. As you're facing the house, it would be to the left. This is the back of the house. This is the one side of the house. This is the front of the house where the construction is proposed. And this is just another view because I couldn't get far enough back to really get you a good view. And then this is another side of the house. And then these are the plans, which I'll let Paul talk to you, or if you have questions about them.
What we're doing to the front of the house is trying to dress it up a little bit. We want to add 2 gables to the front of the house. If you look on the left side, you see there's a gable facing us, and then you have a hip roof going down. So what we were trying to do is give more balance to the front, just an aesthetic change by adding 2 gables to the front of the house, and also adding a porch that will just be an outdoor porch, just for aesthetics. The 2 gables and the porch would be an aesthetic improvement to the house.
I'm just gonna pop back up to this is the front. Okay, so that's the existing front here.
Right.
So on the right side, the new gable that you're adding, the ridge of that gable is higher than the perpendicular ridge.
You mean the one on the left?
Where the cursor is right now.
Right here.
That one's higher than the one on the left side.
No, as that ridge rides
This ridge
back.
right here.
Well, no, the one below that.
This one, yeah.
Right. So how are you ending that? Because the way you show it in plan is not how you're.
No, there is a picture of it. We're looking at it right now. See this?
You're showing the ridge meeting the ridge. You're showing the perpendicular ridges meeting in plan, in the roof plan.
You're going down. See the cursor that I have?
That's her doing it. That's not you doing it anymore, I don't think. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
No, it's me.
It's you.
Yeah, you have no control over this.
Okay,
Unless you want to share your screen.
I don't want to control.
There are no side elevations here. There's just the front elevation. So do you have more?
No, that's what we have.
There's 3 pages.
Okay, but do you understand my confusion?
No, I don't.
Stop there, Ann. The gable the ridge that's going north-south is meeting another ridge that's going east-west or left-right.
No, they're all doing the same. They're all going northwest. When you look at them, you're seeing 3 gable fronts.
Correct, I know. But where that cursor is now, it's meeting another ridge, it looks
Right
like.
here.
No, that's not a ridge that it's meeting. That's the back side of the. If you went to the right of the building, you'd see that it goes up and down. So this one is meeting at the highest ridge of the existing roof now.
Right, but now look at A03. I'm just missing something. You're much higher than the existing ridge. You're about 2 feet
Yes,
higher than the
that's
existing ridge.
exactly right. It's a little higher because we're keeping.
No, it's a lot higher.
No, it's not a lot higher.
Well,
If you see it, the existing one on the left. So what we were matching up with keeping the aesthetics of the angles the same from the front and just putting this gable and the gable over the front door and the gable to the right on that existing part of the house is to have everything aesthetically the same.
No, I understand. You have the same pitch, so it ends up higher.
Right,
But
because
you're-
that's a wider part of that side of the house is wider than the left side of the house. So we had to keep everything with the same dimensions.
What are you doing to the plan? Are you bringing the middle piece out? What are you doing? Where are you gaining space?
We're not gaining
any
space.
space.
Are you just dressing up your front facade with these pediments?
That's what we're doing. We're not adding anything.
Nothing.
We're
not touching the inside.
What we're looking at the front elevation that we just saw is the way it's going to be.
So you're just looking to dress up your elevation with a couple of more pediments, a couple more?
Yes.
right here.
So go to the photograph, the last photograph that you have of the house right there. So you're
That's
putting,
the side.
That's a
yeah, so
side,
basically
yeah.
it's kind of like a salt box. So you have
On the bottom.
either the drawing's wrong or
No, the drawings are right. If you look at the picture there, that's perfect. Because if you, the left side, you see that angle going down,
yes.
that will be where the gable will be, with the hip, and the gable will be put in the front there. And just going back over to that.
So the
whatever-
ridge that I see there at the gable end, you're going to meet that ridge with the new gable you're putting
Right.
and still maintain a 9 to 12 pitch. It all just happens to work out.
Yes.
So go down to your elevation. It just doesn't show that. Your front elevation doesn't show that.
You can't see it because you're not.
I'm looking, you rendered the roof, you hatched the roof. Do you
Right.
understand?
Yes, of course.
You see, zoom in over there. You have top of new gable, top of existing roof. They're about 30 inches apart from each other. 12'10", top of existing roof. 15'3", so that's 2'5" off each other. And you're telling me they meet?
No, they're not meeting. They're just aesthetically looking the same from the front.
I would agree with Stanley. I think the drawings are not comprehensive enough for us to understand.
Well, plus we need full elevations of the side,
Yeah.
of the sides, and they,
All right, so but before we let go on an incompleteness and ask them to come back, do we want to comment on the design intent? Do we think they're going in the right direction? Do we not think they're going in the right direction from a design intent?
No, I appreciate them trying to dress up the house and the curb appeal. It's just to me, it's not a complete design without the drawings making sense with what's actually there, depicting what's there.
Well, if you look to the one on right, can you see what, stop, don't move in, don't move, don't know. You're seeing this gable being higher than the other gable that's existing, and the gable going over the front door, or all three different heights, right?
Right.
I think that part of the problem is you guys are talking about different things. I mean, I think Mr. Fishman's trying to compare the existing gable on the left to the new one on the right, and Stanley's talking about the
Yeah.
error in the drawing where the new one on the right is 3 feet above the existing roof on the right. It has nothing to do with what's going on the left of the house.
Correct. I'm focusing just on the right gable
And
and
but that right,
how it intersects with the house, the
Yeah.
existing house.
I mean, the way it's drawn, it would look like a Hollywood facade.
Right.
no, it won't, because it goes that roof line, the new roof line goes all the way back. Doesn't
To,
stop. It goes back
it goes all the way back.
as far back as it has to go.
But you're showing
Well, what is it hitting? What's that horizontal?
why do you have a
line?
valley? It looks like you have a valley there.
We'll go back to the side view. Okay,
You have a valley on each side of that new gable, and I'm just focusing on the right gable.
yeah, but that gable is, what side are we looking at?
This is the back side. The gable would be in front of this area up there because that's the,
Yeah, you're
that's
seeing,
the side patio.
seeing the gable on the right going over.
Oh, this is a section through the porch, so the gable on the right isn't even in this section. We don't have any elevation
Yeah, there are no elevations.
of the
It's
right
very
side of the
hard.
house.
Well, you kind of show it there on the porch section. Your right gable is still higher than the existing
Two gables.
gable perpendicular to it.
Right.
We need an
But we need
elevation.
more complete drawings, and also just in terms of like this styling of the scalloped.
Yeah, we don't
siding.
like. We're
Yeah,
not gonna do
okay,
colors.
well, if you don't like it, if you could take it off and show us what you want to represent there.
No, we want to represent it going as it is original.
No, but I'm not just talking about the details. So if you don't want the scalloped, this
Don't put 'em in the
detailing
drawing.
inside, then don't include it in the drawing.
Okay,
These
So-
drawings are like a contract with us. So, when we approve something, the building department has it and they need to compare it to what you're building. So it needs to be complete and it needs to represent what you really want to build.
so what is it that you need on that right side gable?
We need elevations of 4 sides of your house, 4 complete elevations of what it's going to look like when you're complete with your construction. And we want the elevations to reflect the design that you want. So again, as we talked about, take off scalloping if you don't want to build it. And these sections through the porch are helpful, but we also want to see outside the confines of the structure what those elevations look like. And you should take a little, please take a careful look at the intersection of the roofs on the right side of the house. As Stanley's suggesting, maybe something is a little different and maybe you need to study that a little bit more. And you're also automatically on the next agenda in 2 weeks, as long as the drawings are submitted in time.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So what is it just that you don't, I mean, I know you want drawings and everything, but is it just that you feel that that peak is too high compared to the other ones on the house? Is that what you're saying? Am I hearing that correctly?
Your drawings are not internally consistent. I'm sorry, are you the architect or homeowner?
No, I'm just a homeowner. I'm just
We are
just
the
asking a
homeowners.
question. We
Yes,
don't have-
the drawings are not internally consistent with each other. The roof plan doesn't match the elevations, and I don't, and I want them to match each other, so it makes sense to me.
Are you both the homeowners? Who's the architect or the engineer? Is there-
I understand what the problem is. The existing gable on the left side is there. That's the way that it is right now. What we're adding in is the one over the front
Front door.
door and the
Right.
one over the right. The
Sure. No, I'm sorry. Are you the architect?
no, I'm the homeowner.
Oh, okay. All right. So just to make it clear to you, to relay to the architect, is his drawings are not consistent with each other. So they're not depicting a
Well,
single idea. They're depicting
They're not
2 or 3
supposed to
different
be-
ideas.
They're not supposed to be the same. They're different.
No, I
And
think we understand your intent and we understand what you are trying to achieve. What we are trying to say is that what you are trying to achieve is not represented in those drawings. And we only ask if you could come back with a set of drawings that represent what you are trying to do, basically, because it's not representing. And I think Stanley was trying to say it for a long time, that basically what you are representing in one drawing does not correspond in another. So if whoever did those drawings could just look at them and you can convey it to them, that would be very helpful for us. And also what Robert said, for elevations, because if that's how you want to build it, or whoever is going to build it, they need to have more information and it needs to be consistent, and 4 elevations would be very helpful for us and for the builder.
Yes, that's exactly what we.
Also, the 4 elevations are required for us to approve or not approve.
So it's not that we disagree with you. We just would like to have a full set of drawings that represent. We need to see it.
And you're going to need it for someone to build this too.
No, we do understand and appreciate your intent and design improvement. We do. We only need a full set of drawings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're happy to see you in 2 weeks.
Okay. So
Right.
we'll, as long as if you can get me everything by the 13th, I'll place you on the agenda for the 20th. Okay?
Okay, we'll let you know.
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next application is 220 Douglas Road. I believe Lou is on.
Yep, I'm here. Good evening. I'm Lou DeMacy. I'm the architect. With me this evening is also the homeowners. If there's any questions, I'm sure they can help us answer. So basically, this is does everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is the site. The house is located in the middle here. It doesn't really face the road. The front of the house is in this area. This is Douglas, and so it's more of like a side elevation that faces the road. But I did do all the elevations so we could look at them. Neighbors' houses across the street, another one across the street, and a third one across the street. The existing house, we'll start with the pictures of the existing house. It's an older style stucco house, and what we're looking to do is basically add 2 gabled dormers, if you will, on this side and the other side. Existing house for the first floor is going to stay pretty much the way it is as today. Front entrance, again, not facing the road, but this is the front entrance here. Side of the building, rear of the building. Let me see if, and then one additional rear elevation and another side elevation. Again, this is where we're thinking of putting those 2 gable end dormers. So I'll go over the plans themselves, starting with the elevation. What we're looking to do here, again, this is the front of the house. Here, this line here is the gable end from the side profile, other gable end for the side profile. We're looking to add just a little bit more living space for bedrooms on the second floor, as well as adding an additional bathroom. Other elevation, and this is where you can see the gable end, is here, where the existing chimney is on that side facing the front of the house. This is where we're adding kind of like a hip dormer for the bathroom, which you'll see in the rear elevation. Fix the width. So moving on to the other side and rear elevation. Again, this is the rear elevation showing the side of the gable roof on both sides. This is where we're adding additional shed dormer, hip dormer, to add a bathroom and a closet area on either side of this existing gable roof. Last side elevation, last right side elevation, showing again the new gable roof that's going to be facing the side. Just to go over the plan real quickly, on the second floor, existing, there's an attic space here that we're claiming to make a new bedroom. This bedroom is going to become, additional space. So we're adding basically another bedroom up here while we're decommissioning a bedroom on the first floor. Let's do the plan. The proposed plan is this, where we're adding second floor demo. Bedroom here, existing bedroom back here, and another bedroom here. This is where the gable ends are going to be. And then this is where those little side dormers are going to be facing the back of the house, basically. A roof plan showing what we're adding. This is the one gable that we're adding. This is the other gable. And then these are the two little shed hip dormers in the back. Again,
So you're not replicating, you're not going to be coplanar with the main gable. You're going to have a little bit of a valley there.
A little bit of the valley, and that's because we don't want to change all the asphalt shingles. That's going to be a way of just getting rid of this hip and then adding that shed gable, because we're trying to be cost effective with this project. There's a really tight budget, and instead of ripping off all the roof to redo it, that's the way we came up of trying to keep most of the shingles by just replacing it and kind of inserting a gable end on that side. But
Can I see one of the end elevations? I guess since they're pretty similar.
Yeah. So here's that gable line. You can see it just off the main hip. So it doesn't exactly align with the ridge. Where it says align ridges, that's for that gable roof, the hip roof, but not the gable end, if you can see it there.
Yep.
This is the original hip roof. This is where we're adding the gable, little dormer. But from the last application, yeah, they just didn't follow that their new roof was going over their existing roof. And you really need to see the other elevations to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, I was assuming he was the
architect,
engineer or architect, but he wasn't.
I thought the same thing because he was talking like he was. But
So is this house right across from that empty lot?
There's no empty lot there. There's a house that's being fixed up to the left of this.
Oh, I thought this was the one that we saw. I remember the house looks very familiar.
Do you just happen to have a 3D view of this at all?
No 3D view. No.
Good. Let me see the front elevation again then.
Yep. So again, this is front. This is where that hip line is going to be, and it's going to maintain. And then this is where that gable roof is going to be.
Mm-hmm. And can I just see a picture of the existing house again to see how?
Would you like the front elevation?
Well, just a corner so I can see, yeah, kind of that one, number 8.
Just give me a second.
You know, the house is so formal. When you see the flat elevations, it looks much larger and grander. You know, than it is larger. Yeah.
I wish the second floor was that big. Yeah, it really, because of the hip roofs, it really kills the space up there. So this was the best way to get, make use of the space without ripping off. Because my first intention with the homeowners were to rip off the second floor, but it's just not cost effective for them.
Yeah.
Stanley, what's your concern? Because here, this is where that gable roof is going to be.
No, I just a 3D view would have helped me. It looks like a big dormer, but I appreciate that you set it back from the hip. I think that helps a lot. On that front elevation of the photo, in front of the chimney, what are you doing with that little blank spot?
This right here? This here?
Yeah.
That's staying the way it is.
Okay. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Have the clients seen a 3D? Have you done a sketch in 3D for them? It's probably helpful.
I have not. Like you said, builders don't need 3D sketches. I need something to get them, working drawings and a building permit. And they totally understand the drawing, so there was no need for a 3D drawing.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
And Brendan, anything?
Yeah, me too. I'm okay with that.
Aye.
All the siding's gonna match, the asphalt shingles are gonna match, the windows are gonna match, the grill details are gonna match, all of it's gonna be matching just to keep costs down.
You're able to match the roof shingles or all the roof shingles?
Yeah, the color we're gonna match as best as we can. Obviously, it's gonna be newer, but it's gonna match as close as we can.
It won't really match. But... Okay, you're approved. Thank you.
Great, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Thank you, yeah, see.
The next application is 340 Saul Street, Thompson. Mm. Is anyone here for 340 Saul Street? Okay, let's move on to the next. Harbor Point Dental Group at Chapel Crossing, 480 Bedford Road. Anyone from C&M sign?
That's me. That would be me. Name's John Oliva. I own C&M Sign Company.
Okay, will you be sharing your screen?
Yes. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Tom, before we see it, has this been reviewed by Sabrina or anybody for conformance with the signage program over there?
I did review it, and it does match the Chapel Crossing guidelines.
Okay, thank you.
Not sure.
That didn't though.
We'll see your home screen.
About now.
Better.
There you go.
So I'll start with the site pictures. This is some of the other stores that are there. The format for these stores are all raised letters, either illuminated or not illuminated. And these other ones, Rocks has a halo lit, which is a back illumination, as well as calico. Compass is not illuminated, but still raised about 1.5 inches depth. This is the front of the store currently with the window treatment, and this is the area where the sign would go. This is showing the lettering on the building. There's the limit for 6 inches from any molding on the sides. This is the customer's logo intact. This is the size of the letters and a side profile of the suggested spacing. We are making the top portion lit, and they requested that the bottom section not be lit. And then this shows the lettering again, similar to the other drawing. There is no sign for the back. And I'm not sure about the windows, what they're going to do with this treatment, if it's just temporary or it's something that they wanted to keep. Maybe it was something just during the construction, but I would have to ask them.
How thick are the letters? I'm just looking for them.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
How thick are the letters?
Letters are 12-inch and 11.3.
No, the thickness of each letter?
It's 1.5 inches deep.
Oh, 1.5 inches.
And the spacing's 1.5 inches. That's pretty common for most of these on the depth.
Okay.
I think they had mentioned that some of them would allow for them to vary, but they would suggest that there was a minimum depth. The compass, the compass one's probably most comparable The other ones are a little bit deeper, as well as the one for Sweet Greens, which went up after I took these pictures. So most of these are probably 2 or 2.5 inches deep.
I think I glimpsed it quickly on one of those last, but so the top part that's lit, it's halo, similar to rocks.
Correct. It's would be either referred to as halo lit or backlit.
Yeah.
They do allow a front lit letter similar to Whole Foods, and they have different colors over at that building. So does Northwell, but Verizon and Chase has a conventional front lit channel letter with a black face. So it's these two styles are what you would see mostly for this section of building.
And is the halo gonna show a little bit of the sign that's not lit below it? Is it gonna bleed out or not?
I mean, there's, I would say no. The spread of a letter against the wall isn't that far as you would have, let's say, on a gooseneck lamp or something like that. We'd have a bigger spread. You wouldn't have something like that. I would say no.
It'd be a shame if it looked like the light was out on the bottom, so to speak. If you knew it was there and you couldn't see it, and it looks like the top is lit and the light is not working.
I don't think it was a cost thing. I think emphasizing the name maybe was the approach, but I'm not really sure. That was like a request. I'm dealing with like a marketing company or something. So I'm not going to say they always know what's best, but that was their request. So, I mean, it wouldn't be unusual either, because in some cases, like the rocks, you do have letters that aren't lit. In this case, because you have secondary copy that's so small, you wouldn't light it. So it's not exactly the same thing, but it's a similar.
Well, it could be because the letters below are pretty thin. The dental group letters are thin.
That would be a problem. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was the reason.
If they wanted it that way, I don't think they knew that, but if they wanted it that way, I would have had to present it differently. Yeah, you're right. But,
Yeah, I just hope it's not gonna look like something's broken and something's just not
no,
working.
no. I mean, I have gone there at night to see most of these, and if you look at the rocks, it pretty much does emphasize the letter that is lit, not so much that it's spread out or it looks uneven or anything like that.
I have a question. I see when I zoom in on that poster on the door, it seems that the logo of the Harbor Point has a different font and almost like a script. And I was wondering why wasn't that used?
Well, that was a whole thing. The logo presented to the customer and to myself was that, and I suggested trying to do something in a script, not knowing exactly the type of letter that they would want. But we really can't make a letter that ornate. I mean, it would have been possible to do like the sailboat and then combine that with a modern letter or a sans serif type letter or something without serifs. So I'm not sure how far that logo actually went, but that theme, probably, I would have preferred that as well. So what happens is if you have a letter that's that ornate, you either have to try to mimic it or get away from it altogether.
Mm-hmm. So it went away. It went very
well. I'm dealing with a marketing company, and I'm not sure what their approach is or why. It's there was a lot of conversation about that, and
because it's an identity of a brand. So I thought.
Well, it had a nautical type thing, and it seemed like a good direction. It would have been nice to do something with a logo. I mean, it would have been allowed. The other stores haven't done it. I mean, you could say Rocks has a logo of sort, but
I was actually thinking
logo.
about the font more than even the logo, because that is big in comparison.
Well, it's on their website, but
the font is so different.
It was so ornate that they weren't thinking about a sign either.
Okay.
And Yeah, my hands were a little bit tied on this.
No, I was just curious.
Okay.
Are is the dental group, is that supposed to be centered below the Harbor Point lettering?
It is, and you're probably,
You might just want to put some dimensionality regarding that in relationship to the Harbor Point, just to cover yourself and help the contractors out as well. So
yeah, I think what you're reading is probably the negative space where the P is it might actually be centered, but it needs to probably go to the left a little visually just to make it look centered. Is that what, I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it's because
a little bit, but some dimensionality to how it's in relationship to Harbor Point probably clears that up. So
No, I understand what you're saying. That happens a lot when you have two lines that have different rhythms to them and you line them up and they don't visually look lined up.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Sure.
Any other comments? Good.
No, I'm good with it.
Okay,
Fine.
you're approved. Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on our last application. It's 90 DeVoe Road. And I see
A lot
both
of
the
people that are,
homeowner-
that never got off the call.
I know. Some people like to stay on to listen.
Can you guys hear
to
me?
us, so. I do hear Dennis.
Yeah, we can hear
and
you.
Try.
Are you sharing your screen?
I am. Can you see it?
We see something, but we don't see plans.
All
We
right,
see
now,
Google Maps.
Okay. So just to give you an idea where we are in town, my house is here, 90 DeVoe Road. Start with a picture so you can see, if context, my front steps, the original steps. The house was built in 1956. They are collapsing. So the goal is to replace these steps, but also while we're at it, add a portico. So here's what I submitted. Here's a front view of the house, the steps. These are the neighbor to the west, neighbor across the street, whoops, and the neighbor to my to the east. That's a satellite view, the site plan. So, all right, here's the drawings. Just gonna zoom in here so you can see the front view. So, new steps with a portico. The roof here is there's a cricket there. This is the right side view. Left side view. And then down here is the detailed for the footings and, you know, the build out, the details. So it's pretty straightforward. I don't really have any other, what are there specific questions?
Those are round or square columns?
Square.
And above the column on the front elevation, is that entablature going across? It doesn't really.
You talking about here?
No, where you have the 2x12s or 2x10s coming out from the house, do they turn in front? So where you say painted wood trim to match existing. Right. I mean, I guess maybe that would get too low, but under the end of the gate, I mean, I'm not really sure how that whole end is being treated, the gable end.
Is that all open? Just
right. Normally you would expect right above the columns to be enclosed.
It's closed. This
Is
is
there a fascia
enclosed
piece that goes
No,
across?
below where your cursor is.
here.
Yes. To continue that line that's going around the sides.
This is open air. Like this is the front of the house. This is above the
Right.
doorway.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying normally with columns like that, you would have that band running across from column to column.
But even above, is there a fascia or is it open in a triangular opening?
This will be a fascia here.
I think what Stanley's saying is below that, if you had something horizontal that would line up with the pieces you have on the sides, but would it be too low then to get into the door?
Yeah.
It's higher than the door still. I mean,
Wanted to keep some height here, so the beam doesn't go across.
Right. I mean, I'm okay with the idea and the concept. I just think the detail right there needs, I just think it needs something else. What would your headroom be under that?
Let's see, is that on here?
Oh, here.
It's 8'6.5" minus probably 10 inches, so 8'2.5".
8'6".
I think it's 8'6.5".
I know, but I'm asking to bring that, what would be the entablature band across from column to column in the front.
From the width here.
Yes, but above the columns. So where you're showing those triple 2x, having that go across.
I think it's 7 feet 9 inches.
Right.
how high is your door? What size door is it?
It's a standard 80-inch door.
I mean, I kind of think when you go down the road of showing neoclassical columns and a neoclassical portico, that it should look like a portico. I just think you expect that to go across, but and I mean, anybody else can agree or disagree.
I would agree. I don't know if it's a height issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like to have the door have some space though.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Oh,
See,
this-
like
I
that,
this is
don't
what-
like it.
you see how that entablature goes across from column to column? I mean, that's kind of what I would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right on top of the door frame too.
I mean, that's what normally those columns hold up. It looks fine on the side elevations. It just
Yeah.
doesn't look right on the front.
I mean, I can add that in if you want.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, is it really necessary? It's kind of this portico is significantly wider.
Right. No, I understand. You're kind of caught between headroom and trying to make it look right, but
Are you the architect or the homeowner?
I'm the homeowner.
where's the you're not the architect?
I'm not the architect.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think the architect needs to fix that front elevation, side elevation, the concept.
I mean, I wanted to keep some head height here, and I was afraid if we had that board there, then it's gonna across. I mean, the architect is on the call. Joe, are you here? I think he was on.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I was multitasking.
So the issue is, I think you're missing, you're making a nice little compact neoclassical portico, but you're missing kind of the piece between the top of the two columns, which would be.
Yeah, I heard, I understood what you guys were saying. I mean, it's not a big deal to add that in. I mean, basically on the drawing that's shown on the screen, it would be one line that would be at the top of the decorative part of the columns there. I mean, I'm happy to add that in if the homeowner agrees to it. We were trying to just keep some more sunlight going into that front door there. That was the real reason that we just kind of kept that out, just tried to keep it a little bit more open. But if the board feels that it's necessary and Mr. Eisenhower, the homeowner, agrees, I have no problem revising the drawing with that. We can add that if we can approve that as a condition tonight, so that they can move forward before the rest of their steps collapse into the front yard.
I think you could do that, and I don't know. You're showing what, triple 2x12s there on the sides?
I think there were 10s, triple 2x10s.
I mean,
so yeah,
couldn't you get away with triple 2x8s or even
Right.
something even so you get taller columns and you get that height back?
Yeah, I mean, we could probably squeeze a couple inches out of it if we needed to.
So I would draw that entablature band back across, and then you can play around with gaining more column height and more height there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's fine with me.
Yeah, they have a thin soffit, where the gutter is and everything like that. So if we dropped it down to triple 2x8, I don't think it would be out of proportion to what's there.
Right, and you're not.
I don't want it to look weird, whatever we add.
Well, I think it looks weird now. That's my point. And I think triple 2x6s might even work. You're not holding up a lot of weight there.
Yeah, structurally, either one would work.
But you get my point. You're getting the height back that you're losing by putting that band back.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if we can make that a condition that we have the band across the front,
that's fine with me.
I think we could do that, and we'll play with the 6 or 8 inch dimension there and see what works the best.
Okay, I'm good with that.
We can do that. Daisy, is Daisy here? Daisy, do you want them to submit drawings tomorrow for the record with that line drawing?
I can email you a PDF tonight.
Yeah, if you can put that line in, but send it into the office tomorrow so they have a record copy.
Not a problem.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, that's great. It looks good otherwise.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, thank you.
Bye.
Right.
Good night. Okay.
That it?
Sorry for my technical difficulties today. Thanks, Dan, for sharing your screen. That was a nightmare.
Stanley must be exhausted. This was a big night for you.
I'm sorry. I don't know if it sounds like I'm in a bad mood, but
No,
I'm not. I'm not. It's just I guess I get triggered when the drawings are really not good. So
that's fine.
There were a few that weren't complete. The drawings weren't complete, maybe.
yeah, and I'm sorry I went on so long with the homeowners when I thought he was the architect, but he clearly didn't understand me. Thanks for jumping in, Claudia and Brendan. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, the next meeting is the 20th, so
Thank you.
have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. Bye.